Hello everyone, this is Kathy from the Daily Marker. Welcome to Simon Says Stamp Blog Hop. We're going to be using these awesome stamp sets and it's just so fun to create these ugly sweaters. I went ahead and stamped these on some watercolor paper because it's really a very heavy weight because I'm going to be using a lot of glossy accents on these to create a fuzzy ugly sweater, and I wanted something super heavy. There was a few areas I filled in with the marker, and now I'm testing my glossy accents to make sure there isn't any bubbles, and I'll be using this Flower Soft white on the sweater. Now I'm cutting this out to make it easier to move the paper around, and I'm going to show you how I did this on the vest, even though my card is with the sweater. It's just easier to show you on the vest here. So I am taking my Glossy Accents nozzle and moving it around the border of the vest first. Slowly, I'm just letting it flow out naturally, and then I'm kind of coloring, filling it in, and squeezing a little bit to fill up the middle space. I like to use a paper piercer to move some of it around if I missed or if there's any bubbles, and I can also clean up my edges with it. I use this paper piercer for so many things. So I'm just popping any little bubbles. Now I'm ready to put the Flower Soft on, and I realize it's probably best to have a piece of paper underneath here, so I'll be adding that. Then I can just make a funnel and pour it back into the container. And I'm going to continue to put the Flower Soft on the vest. I'm going to lightly pack that in so it squishes down into the glossy accents and tap off the excess. Now the paper piercer, I like to for the black line to show, so I'm just kind of, since I squashed it down, pushing some of that back into the area so you can see the black lines. I think it just gives it a more finished look. I don't know, I love a good black line, so it's up to you. And there's lots of different Flower Soft colors out there. I encourage you to try a lot of different things. Now I'm going to do the other side, which is pretty self-explanatory since you just saw it. But again, you just run it around the edges, and if anything goes over the line, you can clean that up with your paper piercer. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Sorry that it's so fast, but I'm doing the exact same thing as I did on the other side. And again, I'm cleaning up the edges on both sides, again with the paper piercer. Just want to show that nice black line. Now here's the sweater I already finished. And I want to show you how I did the embellishments for the ugly sweater. I just colored them with a watercolor marker since I'm using watercolor paper. And I'm adding the glossy accents to the fur part of the stocking and to the balls on the wreath. And I will be adding some Flower Soft that has silver in it, so it's a lot chunkier, which I don't like, and it's a little harder to work with. It's what I had, and I didn't want to use glitter. To tie everything together, I'm going to be adding the same chunky Flower Soft to the trim on this white sweater, and I just pack it down, and then I'm going to use my paper piercer again to touch up those lines and stuff, give it a nice clean edge before I cut it out. Super easy, and it's nice and sparkly but chunky. And I don't love how the embellishments turned out, but it's supposed to be ugly anyway, so that makes it perfect. I'm going to fill in some of the areas on the wreath here with glossy accents, the bow, and I ended up just adding it to the entire wreath later. So I thought I'd show you how I took this Christmas tree light set from a different stamp set in this new release. You can see it right here, the snowman set, and I trimmed off the very edge. I didn't need to see the line right there. This piece of paper is the back. I'm making a spinner card. This is the back of it so I could practice on it. And then this is the final top of the card where I stamped the string of lights 3 times. I colored them with the watercolor marker and added glossy accents. I'm going to sandwich 2 of these sweaters together, so I thought I would put some glossy accents on the edge, put more Flower Soft. I used some scrap paper so you saw that orange there on the sweater. And then I'm going to glue these together and it'll be a spinner card. So lots of little things on this video. I'm using a clear piece of thread. I'll be cutting these out and gluing them on top of my ugly sweater, ugly fuzzy sweater. Now this is the clear thread. You could use fishing line or silver thread or whatever. This is what I had and I like that it's clear. I'm going to be taping it down really well, and you want to center it, make sure it's nice and centered on your sweater, else it'll be a little cockeyed. Once I tape that down, I'm going to put tape on the top and the bottom of the sweater. Remember to center it on the sweater. And it's good to secure it with a little glossy accents in case the slippery thread slips. So it'll spin like this in my circle card, and it should look pretty cool, hopefully in the end. Now you'll notice a little piece of orange on the back of one of these sweaters because I used a scrap. Shame on me. So I'm going to glue the 2 sweaters together using a generous amount of glossy accents between them. I want a nice sandwich so they don't come apart. And this would be a good time to put some on top of the thread, which I did not do here. When you finish with the glossy accents, if you squeeze that last bubble out, it usually doesn't get caught in the nozzle. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these, try and get them to line up. And you can see that little bit of orange there, but nothing is perfect. And I kind of see I need to give it time to dry here, but give it a good amount of time to dry since it's a generous amount of glossy accents. Line it all up, and then it'll spin beautifully on the face of your card. So before my stocking was dry, I cut it out very gingerly. I'm adding another generous amount of glossy accents on top of the sweater and pushing that down a little bit, centering the stocking. And I have to let this dry. Best time is to give it overnight since there's a layer of fuzz. And when that's dry, I'll add my wreath to the other side. I added glossy accents on the entire wreath. And I will cut it out. And I just want to show you how this will lay in the middle. Sorry, it's a little bit off screen here. You'll see in the middle, the way I assemble this is the bottom layer. I'm going to tape the string down. You want to tape it super good so the string doesn't slip. Make sure it spins, and then you can cut the thread off and then you glue this on top or use foam. I ended up using foam to give it a nice layered look, and then you don't see the tape or the string. And that's how you make a spinner card. It's super fast and easy. See you soon.